Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping right into the incredible 2025 Formula One season, a year that has, and this is no exaggeration, completely redrawn the map of the sport. You know, the 75th anniversary of Formula One has been shaped by one of the biggest power shifts the sport has ever seen. The old order didn't just stumble, it completely crumbled, and a new one has risen up with just breathtaking speed. And what's crazy is it all kicked off with a bombshell announcement before a single car even hit the track. This one move, this single decision, was the first domino to fall in a chain reaction that just toppled the entire grid and set the stage for an absolutely chaotic and amazing season. Okay, let's get right into it. The catalyst for all this change, the move that started it all, was, of course, Lewis Hamilton's sensational decision to leave Mercedes, his home for over a decade, for the legendary Scarlet of Ferrari. I mean, think about it. The seven-time champion, chasing that record-breaking 8th title, decides to do it with a Scuderia. That move created this huge power vacuum at Mercedes and sent absolute shockwaves through the driver market. It really was the piece that sent the whole board flying. So Hamilton's move wasn't just a ripple, right? No, it triggered a full-on tidal wave in the driver market. It completely altered the landscape and swept almost half the drivers on the grid into a brand new seat for the season. And these were the biggest pieces in the game of musical chairs. Carlos Sainz, the driver Hamilton pushed out at Ferrari, he made this really surprising, really ambitious move to a Williams team that's on the rise. And Mercedes? What did they do? They made a huge bet on the future, promoting the 18-year-old Italian prodigy, Kimi Antonelli, straight into one of the most famous seats in all of motorsport. And you know, Antonelli was just the tip of the iceberg. This really shows the wider changing of the guard that happened. He wasn't alone. There were new regulations that basically encouraged teams to give rookies more time in the car, and it gave them the confidence to take a chance on a whole new wave of exciting young talent. 6. That number is huge. It represents one of the biggest influxes of new blood in modern F1 history. And what does that do? It just injects this thrilling, totally new level of unpredictability into the sport. Anything can happen. So, with the grid totally shaken up and the former champions kind of fumbling, the door was just wide open for a new team to step up and take charge. And McLaren, well, they didn't just walk through that door. They blew it clean off its hinges. It was unbelievable. The Red Bull dynasty, which seemed unbeatable, just collapsed. They were hit with an unstable driver lineup, and their cars suddenly looked like a midfield runner. And on the other side, you have McLaren. With a rock-solid driver pairing and an absolutely brilliant car, they became the new benchmark for everyone else on the grid. Now, this chart, this really tells the whole story. Just look at those numbers. After 14 races, McLaren have more than double the points of Ferrari, their closest competitor. It is an absolute masterclass in dominance. But here's the thing, right? When a team is that successful, it almost always creates a new problem. And for McLaren, that problem became an intense, sometimes messy, internal battle between their two drivers for the world championship. And this is where the season gets really juicy. It's turned into this fascinating psychological drama. On one side, you have Lando Norris, the established star, fighting to prove he's still the number one guy. And on the other, you have Oscar Piastri, the so-called apprentice, who is leading the championship by being incredibly consistent and proving he's the new benchmark. And just look how close it is. As we head into the final stretch of the season, there are only 9 points separating them. 9. That's nothing. This guarantees a titanic battle that is almost certainly going down to the very last race of the year. And believe me, this rivalry has already boiled over. That on-track collision in Canada was a total disaster for the team. And it was the first time we all saw the cracks really starting to show. Since then, it's just been this incredible back-and-forth slugfest that is testing McLaren's management to the absolute limit. But hey, the McLaren duel, as intense as it is, isn't the only story. As we head into the finale, there are so many other critical factors that are going to define the end of this absolutely wild 2025 season. You see, with Red Bull's collapse, this power vacuum has just elevated the entire midfield. Teams like Sauber and Williams, they're not just fighting for scraps anymore. They're hunting for podiums. And at the same time, fallen giants like Mercedes and Red Bull are desperate to play the role of spoiler. And running underneath all of this is this huge, high-stakes strategic challenge for every single team. They're all on this high wire, trying to balance everything. How much time and money do you keep spending on this year's car versus how much do you shift over to the completely new car for 2026? It's a massive gamble, and getting it wrong could cost them for years to come. Because this isn't just a small tweak coming. No way. We are talking about a complete redesign of the cars. New engines, new chassis, new everything. It's basically a giant reset button for the entire sport, which means the dominance we're seeing from McLaren right now, well, it might be pretty short-lived. So, what you should take away from all this is that even though 2025 gave us this thrilling new world order in Formula One, the entire sport is already on the verge of being completely reset all over again. Is this a new era for McLaren? Or is it just the calm before an even bigger storm? The only thing we know for sure is that this revolution isn't over yet.